Hi everyone. Hello, my name is Wanda from Some Desire, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make this heart bracelet. So it's going to be like a candy stripe heart bracelet. Firstly, we're not going to make it a loop, so I'm going to leave like 6 or 7 inches for my tie. Just going to make a knot, and I'll tip it down. The measurements will be on the screen, and we're going to get right into it. So we have 4 strings of each color. We're going to be arranging that. We're going to put the pink strings first. Then we're going to have the remaining 4 brown strings next. Then the last 3 strings. So that's pink, 4 brown, and then, 3 pink. So we're going to follow this order and we're going to be making forward backward knots in this exact order. So taking the first string, which in my case is going to be the pink string, we're going to make a forward backward knot. That's a 4, number 4, and then a D, capital D. That's for the backward parts. So forward, backward knots. Move that to one side. Now we're going to take the next string, which is going to be brown. We're going to make another knot, another forward, backward knot. We're making a diagonal start. Take the next string, which is also going to be a backward knot. So a forward, backward knot. And then the next string, we're going to do the same thing. So basically, we're just going to be moving strings and making forward, backward knots till we get to the last 2 strings. And this is the large string for our brown. Now we're going on to the pinks. And now for the last 2 string, we're just going to make the last forward, backward knots. And we are actually ready to start the pattern. So now we're going to just take all our strings back. I hope you know how to make a candy stripe, because if you don't, then well, I'll just teach you. So make a candy stripe, you're just going to be taking the string that's on the edge. In my case, we're going to start from the left edge every single time. I'm going to be making 4 knots throughout. So for the first row for me, I'm just going to have plain 4 knots. So 4 knots is when you make a number 4 2 times. So that's my 4 knots, and I'm going to be making 4 knots 2 times. So I'm going to make it 7 4 knots. I've already made one, so I have 6 more to go. And now we're making our final 4 knots, 7 knots. So we're done with this one. Now we're going to do this again. So we're going to go to the beginning, like to the left start, and we're going to pick it up and we're going to make another 7 forward knots, starting with the string on the edge. And now we're going to do something that's not the same. So we're just going to remove the last two strings. That's the brown one and the pink one, the last two strings on the right. Remove them, put them to one side. Now go back to the left side. We're going to take the string off the edge. We're going to make 5 forward knots this time. Just 5. That's going to be 2 brown and 2 on the 3 pinks. Sorry, 3 pinks. 2 browns and 3 pinks. And now that we're here, we're going to take the pink string that we put on the right. That's the last pink string. We're going to take that and we're going to make 1 backward knot on our leading brown string. Our leading brown string is the string we use to make the 5 forward knots. So we're just going to take the pink string and make 1 backward knot. There's a backward knot on that brown string. And then we're going to take the brown string and make 1 forward knot to complete the round row to complete it. Now this time we're going to remove the last 4 strings. There are going to be 2 brown and 2 pink. So we're going to move them out of the way and to the right. Now, from the left edge, we're going to be making 3 forward knots this time with our brown string. So take the brown string and make 3 forward knots. That's going to be 1 forward knot on a brown string and 2 forward knots on pink strings. And now that we've done that, we're going to take the 2 pink strings we push to the right. We're going to make backward knots with each of them on our leading brown string. So take the first one, which is we're going to make 1 backward knot. Now take the next one and make another backward knot. And now we're going to use our leading brown string to make 2 forward knots. We're finally going to pick it up this time and just make 2 forward knots with it. So now going back to the start, that's to the left side, we're going to pick up the string that's there. We're going to make in 2 rows of candy stripes. So we're going to make just plain knots with the brown string this time. So there's going to be 7 forward knots. So remember I told you we're making two rounds, right? We've done the first one, so we're going to go back to the beginning, pick the pink string again on the left edge, and we're going to make another 7 forward knots with that string. So the first forward knots and then 6 more. So now we're done with the row, but we're going to be doing another one. It's not going to be just pure candy stripes this time. So we're going to remove all the dark and the brown strings. We're just going to make two. We're going to take the pink string on the edge, left edge. We're just going to make in 3 forward knots this time. Just 3. So we're just going to add one of the brown strings to the other two pink strings on the left and there. So now make your 3 forward knots. In case I was just talking too much, just take the string on the edge and make 3 forward knots. So now that we're here, we're going to take the next string, that's going to be our brown string, the third brown string if you're counting from the right, and the second one if you're counting from the left. Just take the next brown string and make a backward knot. And we're done. So now you use the pink string to make 3 forward knots. So now that we're done, we're just going to go back to the start and take the first two pink strings. I'm just going to make 1 forward knot. So ignore the other color of strings, ignore the brown. Just take the first two pink strings, use the first string on the edge, and make forward knot. Now, take the next string, which is going to be brown. Take the first brown string and make a backward knot on the pink string, on our leading pink string. Then take the second brown string and make a backward knot too. And now we're just going to pick up the pink string again. We're going to make 4 forward knots. So on the remaining strings, we're just going to make it forward knots. That's 4 forward knots. So now We're back to how we were when we first started. If you notice, we have one pink string, four brown strings, and then three pink strings. So I'm just going to show you a second time, but you can just go back to that point and just repeat everything if that's what you want. So we're going to have our 2 rounds of candy stripes. So the first one is going to be 7 knots with our pink string. So now we're going to make our second round of the candy stripe with our brown string. So just take the brown string and we're going to make in 7 forward knots with it. So now go we're going to go back to the start and I'm going to make 5 forward knots. Just 5 forward knots. You can remove the last 2 strings, the last pink and the first brown. Remove those 2 strings and just go to the left side and make 5 forward knots. Five forward knots, and then we're going to pick up our pink string now and make one backward knot. Then we're going to use the leading brown string now, and we're just going to make one forward knot. And now we're going to go back to the start to make 3 forward knots. So you can remove 2 pink strings and 2 brown strings, go to the left side and make 3 forward knots. Just 3 forward knots. So now we're going to take the next string, which is going to be our pink string, and make one backward knot on our leading string. Now we'll take the next one, which is going to be our last pink string, and make one backward knot on our leading string. Another backward knot on our leading string. Now we're going to take the leading string and make 2 forward knots with it. And now we're just going to make our candy stripe. So I'm going to take the brown string on the edge, on the left edge, and I'm going to make 7 forward knots. And now we've come to the end of the pattern repeat. I'm not going to show you anything more about that because I think you can just go back. I'll leave the timestamp, or you can just go back and start all over again. I'll leave the timestamp from the pink part to this side. So I'm going to jump to the part where I show you how to actually end this bracelet. Here we are, me showing you how to end the bracelet. So we started it with one side, we're going to end it the same way, well, in a different way. What we're going to be doing is making backward knots throughout. You can choose to make backward forward knots. I'm just going to make backward knots throughout because I think that makes life easier. So take the last two and make a backward knot. Take the next string, which is our third brown string. Take that string and make a backward knot over those two strings together. Then take the next one and make another backward knot. And now we're going to the pink side. Take the first pink string and make a backward knot. And the second pink string, make another backward knot. The third pink string, make another backward knot. And with the last one, make a backward knot. That's it. So now we're just going to worry about ties. Since we didn't make a loop at the start, I like to just make one tie on each side. So I'm going to be making a braided tie this time. So we're going to put it 3, 3, and 2. So I'm just going to make a 3 strand braided twist. Yeah, I don't know how to explain that. I'm just going to be passing one string from my right hand to my left hand, taking the lower string on my left hand and taking it up, then passing the string from my right to my left hand, then taking that one up, passing the string again. So I'm just going to be moving strings from left to right, then back to left. That's all. And if what I said is not really clear, please just make a twisted braid. That's perfectly fine. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a nice day. If you didn't understand how I ended the bracelet, let me know down in the description. I'll see if I can recommend a better tutorial to you. And that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.